Let me start the thing. Hello? Oh, yes. Okay. Before we start, I want to clarify some things we have left yesterday. The first one is, I think it's Pawan and Jeremy ask about how to do at least one, right? And with the knowledge of what we learned, you cannot do it. Okay, you have to using another special syntax in regular expression called look ahead, which is this thing. If you're interested, you can take a look at it. Okay, called the look ahead. And the syntax is like this way, which looks for S, but match only something followed by Y. And with at least ACGT, that one, you have to write a regular expression look like this. Okay, which is very complicated. Okay, so if you're interested, you can take a look at, and if not, then it's fine. Okay, called the look ahead. This one I'm talking about, you must have at least one A, but all other characters still inside the ACGT. Same thing. You at least still have a C and other characters. Okay, and this one at least a G, and this one at least a T, and all other characters are ACGT like this. Okay. If you need, I will send it to you guys. Okay. So this is one. There's another one. I made a mistake yesterday, which is about AC. This one won't work, okay? Because this part, I couldn't make it work. Even I escape because when I use plus means quantifier, right? And even though we use escape, it won't work. Just doesn't work inside. In between the parentheses, you must use like a A to Z, lowercase, capital case, 0 to 9, and those special characters don't support, even though you escape. So the only option you can do like this way, or here use two square bracket around them. Otherwise, directly use the parentheses and plus pipe, the minus, you will get errors. Okay. This one, just using this one. This one is much better. Okay, this one works. And the last one is Nara mentioned. I already forgot about this one. Which yesterday, do you remember, guys, when we do quantifier, we have one demo that work, right? This one, which is up to. The reason is because it is supported in regular expression, but not supported in JavaScript. See here, JavaScript. When we see it's called no, which means doesn't support, and HTML follow JavaScript. So doesn't supported by HTML and JavaScript. Okay, but regular expression is support. Java also doesn't support, so don't use this one. Okay. That's this part. Now let's take a look at our overview, course overview. Yesterday we learned about forms like radio button, text, checkbox, lots of them. And another one we learned about is regular expression. Okay? And probably if you do exercise, you will see how it goes. Do some practice. Today, we're gonna have a simple lesson on JavaScript, and after that, it's gonna be difficult. Okay, today's is simple. And now let's take a look at our first slide about today. I'll just use the PDF, otherwise I'll switch back and forth. Okay. Today we are going to take a look at the basic JavaScript concepts like JavaScript syntax. This program logic, you guys are very familiar because you know Java well, like if else condition, while loop, those, okay? And we will see some advanced JavaScript syntax, and those gonna be used in your when you build a front website using like Angular or React, you're gonna use them like a destruction assignment and those. JavaScript is a loosely typed language, okay? You will see, which is totally different from Java. It has a type, but does no compile time type checking. So when we define variable, you expect to be an integer or number, okay? Then you can assign a string or other array, anything else. Programmers must be cautious of automatic type conversion, we will see, including conversion to Boolean types. you will see, okay, it has a flexible and a powerful array type as well as distinct types of non and undefined. Array in JavaScript is very powerful. It will act like a queue. It will act like a stack. And it also an array, like a doesn't have array list or linked list. Okay, you will see. To be an effective JavaScript programmer, one needs to understand the principles and details of a language. If our awareness is established in the source of all the laws of nature, then our actions will spontaneously be in accord with the laws of nature for a particular environment. First, when JavaScript just was invented, JavaScript is for client-side scripting. What is client-side scripting? Client-side means what? JavaScript is running in the browser, okay? But nowadays, JavaScript can also run on the server side, right? Because we have a Node.js platform. But when JavaScript comes out, it is only for run in the browser, okay? And the code run in the browser after page is sent back from server, and often the code manipulates and responds to user action. What's going to happen is normally when JavaScript just comes out, is when user click one button, I want to do something, or hover, I want to do something, which is a run. And another word is called scripting. Scripting, when we do Java has to compile into .class, and in order to run, right? Scripting language means what? It can run directly use your source code. Your source code doesn't need to compile into another file in order to run, understand? So later on, we will see we'll directly run JavaScript source code. That is called a scripting language. So here have two parts, client side, which means JavaScript run in the browser. But nowadays we can run in the server, okay? And scripting means the code can be directly run using the source code. Why use client-side programming? Like usability, like a user can modify a page without post it back to the server, because the I/O is very expensive. The I/O means input and output, right? Especially when we have a request to a server and the server will send us the data. This is we consider very slow I/O. And with JavaScript, we can do something like, suppose you want just to display a set of data, and when the page initially load, you can have the data ready and then hide it. And when you click one button, we don't need to send to get the data back. We can just display, which are already been loaded there. Okay, so it have different cases based on your requirement. And it has very efficiency, can make small quick changes to a page without waiting for a server. This can be showing, like suppose we go to let's see, okay, this one has some. Yeah, this one don't have cs.miu.edu. You can use JavaScript to achieve something like those. See here, you got those things. This is JavaScript achieved. When we hover, we can display. We can also use CSS. Okay, this is a simple example. Event-driven. This is also talking about a client side, which is JavaScript are used to respond to user action like a click, a key press, or the page finish loading, which are based event-driven. What is JavaScript? We already mentioned about this one, scripting language, okay? It can be used to make a page interactive. This one is talking about the client side, like insert some dynamic text, display something, or react to the user's events. Not only users, the browser events can also react to them. Like when the browser finishes loading a page, we can do something, okay? And get information about user's computer, like a browser, all the things, and perform calculation. Like when the server side send us the data, which is a JSON type, we can use JavaScript to render as a table display to the user. Okay, you also can do some calculations. And it's JavaScript is a web standard, not supported identically by all the browsers. This one nowadays probably almost identical. This one is mentioned like IE6, IE7. Not all the IE supported identically. Okay. This one, because JavaScript has a word Java inside, right? but it is not related to Java, okay? The reason why it have Java is because the time when JavaScript comes out, Java was the most popular language there. And, you know, we want to get something, okay, have a Java there, okay, it's probably related to Java, right? So get some attention from the developers, okay? But they are different, okay, different language. Now, the first JavaScript statement, we can see an alert, okay? This is our first. You can do is we will see a lot more after our node. Okay, like alert. Hi, this is the first one. Okay. Like in Java, you say system.out.println. Okay, and this one is the client side. Okay, client side. Don't worry, this one. You can skip this one. Okay. Now let's take a look at JavaScript syntax. How to define the variables. How to define variables in JavaScript, which is different from Java, okay? You use those keywords, var, let, const, 3, okay? Var is introduced since JavaScript was coming out. Var is already there, okay? Let and const is added in ES6. Let me explain about the ES and JavaScript first, okay? Okay, okay. I forgot to bring my pen here. So here you see the word ES, right? ES stands for ECMAScript. EC ECMAScript. 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 The reason is because, you know, here the copyright is a big issue, okay? JavaScript, this word, okay, is a trademark owned by Oracle. And that's the reason we cannot use JavaScript, this word, okay? And then there's an organization called ECMA, okay? ECMA, this is an organization which maintain the specification of JavaScript. Specification means what? The language features, okay? And which is maintained by this organization. So afterwards, when we talk about the versions, we use ES, which means ECMAScript. And ES6 means the year comes ES 2015. Okay. And after ES7, we always use a year to refer. Like ES6 is equal to ES 2015, right? ES7 is gonna be 2016. And after that, we no longer use ES7, 8, 9, 10. We use a year, like ES 2019, 18 to refer, okay? Anyway, and the JavaScript, this language, we refer to the language itself, but for the specification, we use ECMAScript, okay? And var, let, and const. We will see the difference later, but the main difference here between these two and these two is a const is the thing. After you define the variable and you give the values, you cannot change them. It's like the Java's public final. Oh, sorry, it's Java's final. You cannot reassign values. So let me show you a demo, okay? Variable, fine. Here, the first one I will do use HTML to show you the JavaScript code is running in the browser. But later on, I will require you guys to define to have another software installed, okay? So here, when we talk about, we can use SRC to refer for the JavaScript code, okay? So, sorry, this one I haven't introduced, okay? Now, let's take a look at JavaScript. Where to write our JavaScript code? You have two places, okay? First one is between the script tag. In the HTML, you can write JavaScript code. And this script tag, you can put it here, you can put it in the body. Normally, we don't put it here. No, two places we put most often is the one is in the head. The other one is at the end. Suppose this is my footer, okay? Footer, copyright. You got me? Which is after this footer, which is directly before the closing tag or body, normally. But depends on company. You will see some will put it here, some will put it here. And one way is write a JavaScript code. You can directly like a let I equals 10. You define a variable, okay? You can here I have a let j equals 100. And I will do one syntax which is like this way. console log it's like Java system.out.println, okay, which print something into the console. So I can have I and j, which print the two values. And how to see the result? You open this one in the browser. And here we have console, right? You will see 10 and 100. Okay, because in the browser, we have a JavaScript engine there. So when the browser loads this page, whenever the browser see the script tag, it will immediately execute the code. Okay, so it will execute this one, define variable, then display this one, then execute this part. Understand? This is one way. The other way is what we're gonna do for this course is here we're gonna have what's the JS file. And then all the JavaScript code, you put it here, okay? And then inside the header, you can do src and /main.js, which is a relative URL. And then we're gonna have a type, text, JavaScript. You got it? And then I will do here, I will let m equals 88. Okay, I will have a console.log m. And now you will see 88. Okay, do you get this one so far? Okay. But the problem is when I write the JavaScript code, every time when I write a code here, we have to come here to see result, right? I don't like it. Okay, so there's another tool that I expect everyone to run to install this one first. Eventually, we're gonna use it. Okay, first you go to here and go to install download Node.js. Okay, you download the Node.js like the one I download this one because I'm Windows, and I download this one. Okay, and after you download, you just double click next till the end. Okay, you got me? Okay, if you don't know which next to click, let me know. Okay, you got it? Okay, you can do afterwards. Okay, and the reason then after you do, because here I have a JS file, right? The Node.js, this tool already also have a JavaScript engine, which means it can also run JavaScript code. So later on, what I'm going to do test is I just do like this way. Node, man, you see 88. So I don't need to switch the screen. You understand what I'm doing? Yeah, because the reason is why I asked you to install Node earlier is because later on, if I do any test, right? If I using browser, I have to do here, then I will have to switch to the browser and go to the console to let you see, okay? With Node installed, I can just run Node, directly run the JS file, and you will see the result in this terminal. You got me? Okay. So if you still don't understand, I can explain to you again later, okay? So this one. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about for these three. I'll explain this one because it's easy, but for these two, we have to wait till we talk about execution context, okay? So first, the const. Const like names, okay, name, okay, equals CS472. And this is how to define. You can have a name here, okay? Because the JS already have a name. Okay, let's use username. This is the checking by the Visual Studio Code. You can ignore it. Doesn't have wait, let me show you. Okay, doesn't have any problem. Okay, just the checker I introduce. You have a CS472, right? Okay. Now if I do like this way, John, then when we run, we're gonna have error. Can you see error? Assignment to the constant variables, because when you're using constant define, it means constant, never change. And then you do a reassign, it means you want to change the value, right? Then you cannot do it. Got it? That's a constant, const. And first, let me show you the difference between var and let in a minute. Then I will explain the reason tomorrow or next Monday, okay? So let me use the username because it's ignoring me. Okay. Okay. Guys, if I put it here, we will see the value 8080, right? I will see value 8080, right? Then I remove this one. Default, okay. We will see error. You will see error cannot access M before initialization because I accessed it before define, right? But now when I turn into var, you will see undefined. And that's the difference between let and const. And you can all have another difference we will introduce tomorrow, okay? And what's the guideline to use let and const and var? My personal advice is always use const, okay? And whenever you want to this variable to be can be change the values, convert into the let. And if you are not sure what you are doing, never use var, okay? We will see the difficult var later. It will create lots of troubles to you. And I will show you examples when we talk about the var, okay? And now here also have other things. Types are not specified, but JS do have types, loosely typed. It have a number, Boolean, string, non-undefined, symbol, and object. I will show you them in the future slides. Okay, so here. Now I have M. If you want to find out the type of M using an operator called the type of, okay, and here you will see a number. And in JavaScript, no matter you are floating number or integer numbers, all of them gonna be floating. There's no integer, there's no short, there's no double or float. Okay, all the type for all the numbers is a number. And here is another interesting. You probably jump. In Java, we are not allowed to do that this way, right? Because in Java here we'll use int. Then you cannot change to be a string, right? But JavaScript is a loosely type. Why it's loosely? This based on the value you assign to the variable, the type of the variable going to defined by the value you assigned. Okay. So previously M, the type is a number. After we assign the string, it's gonna become string type. So based on the value you assign to the variable, the type is gonna be changed, okay? And they do have, this is all the types which are existing inside the JavaScript. Number, Boolean, string, we'll see all of them in future slides. Oh, I shouldn't put it here, okay? Block scoped variable. This is another difference between var and let. Let me show you another difference, okay? Let exactly is the same as the variable you define in Java, but var is different. Right? Suppose I have for let I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay, yeah, sorry. And the reason I will explain to you guys later. Okay. In Java, suppose in Java, I use int to define, right? And this I should be only available inside this scope, which is for loop, right? And outside it, you cannot get it, right? And this is called the block scope. Block means what? A pair of braces will define a scope, understand? And let behave exactly the same as the Javas, okay? I is not defined because I have I here. You got it, me? Okay. I'll do like this way, okay? And you will see here, outside this one, current. But if I change this to be var, you will see here. And that's another difference between let and var. And we will see the reason future, okay? I'll show you here. Constants, we already explained, also known as immutable variables, cannot be reassigned new content. only makes the variable itself, not assign the content. Object properties can be altered. Array elements can be altered. This one is same as Java. Constants. Demo.js. You remember, suppose in Java, okay, let me give an example. Suppose in Java, I have employee. Suppose I have employee, okay, and E equals, suppose I have employee, okay, like this one, and I make this one to be a final, which means what? I cannot use E assigned to another employee, right? But can I do like this way? Change it to be another value? You can do, because final means what? Whenever we use final, it means this equal, you cannot do another equal sign. But I can change the values in the object, right? Object properties, understand? Same thing here. Here, constant variable string, okay? String R string equals ABC, okay? Then str, you cannot use equal sign again to this variable because it's a final, okay? This one, okay? Let's run. Then we're gonna have error. Oh, I will show you before. You have error, right? But I will show you in a minute, okay? This is the way how to create an object in JavaScript. JavaScript has several ways to create an object. This one have a special name called object literal, which is between these braces. Then you can create objects, okay? And then you can have properties and values like X. Let's say first name is John. Last name is Smith. You got me? Then we create an object, and this object is a person object, which has a first name, John, last name, Smith, right? Because I'm using constant, which means you cannot reassign. You got me? You cannot reassign to be like 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have errors. You cannot use error equal sign again. Cannot assign to a constant variable, okay? But you can do like this thing. As Edward. This is JavaScript syntax, which will change the value for the first name. Like it's like in Java, you call set first name, set last name. Okay, JavaScript, you can use a dot notation to do it. Okay, and we will have more example in the future. But this is how JavaScript define a single object. And this one is we change the first name to be Edward. We are trying to do. Like I will have a console.log obj here. Okay, then I will have another console log obj. And you will see the difference. See here, the first one I have John, right? But after I do the first name, you get what? Edward. Constant and final, they are referring thing is what? This object, you can make it point to another thing, okay? Which means you cannot use a equal sign again, but you can change the array, each index to be another value, or each property to be another value, or add more properties. That is this line talking about. Object property can be altered. Array elements can be altered, but you cannot reassign, okay? Any question? Yeah.
When we talk about variable, we can change type from string to levels and then to string.
Yeah.
So is there any difference on
when we reassign, right, it will, what's gonna happen is all the objects like a string node, it's gonna create the heap, and the variable just change the address to the one you created. So it's gonna be two different address, right? So there's how they store in the memory, but all of them gonna be in the heap. And when you probably this one is in one place, and when you change it to be another one, you will point to another address. Okay, but the variable itself don't change. Just the address pointed to be changed. Very good. Any more? If not, let's take a look at a number type. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, JavaScript don't have int don't have a double, okay? Don't have float short. All the numbers inside the JavaScript are considered as floating numbers, and it only has one type represent all the numbers, which are number. Okay, now let me show you this one. Number type, okay. So here I have const I equals 8, const j equals 9.8, okay. What are others? Okay, we just do 2, okay. Like now I will console.log type of I console.log type of j, okay. And then how to execute using Node after you install Node, okay. Node, this is a application name, okay. Number type, you can see all of them are number type, okay. That's the special thing about JavaScript, okay. Integers and the real numbers are the same type. Actually, if you are interested, you can watch my videos on YouTube. Okay, I explained behind the thing. We are using Node, right? Node is using the JavaScript engine called V8 Chrome, the same as Chrome. They do have difference when they store because it doesn't make sense use 60-bit to store an integer. They were based on the type behind the scene. The V8 will do some refactoring. Okay. But based on the specification, all of them we are using floating to represent numbers in JavaScript. You can also use the operators like a plus or minus. This one is same as Java's. Okay, we don't go deep. Like when we do it, it's gonna be 9. This one will have high precedence, right? 6 plus 9 gonna be something. Okay. Also, many operators auto-convert types. Here has a more weird part compared with Java. Let's take a look at this one. Let res1 equals 2 plus 3 plus hello. When we see plus sign, we know this one gonna be the same as Java, which is 6, right? But when we see a string, this one will come. This plus is going to become concatenation, right? So we're gonna have 6 hello like Java's. You got what I mean? And 6 hello, and because it do type convention, so res eventually become a string, right? Let's see another one. Okay. Oh, this one should be the same. This one probably is the same. I don't remember all the weird parts about the JavaScript. Okay. I also need to. Oh, this one is same. Okay. Now let's another one. Oh, this is another one. This one is same. See here. When we see plus, it will still do string concatenation, right? But when we see this multiplicity, JavaScript will try his best to convert this string into a number, and then to do the multiplicity. So it's actually convert this 3 into a type, into a number, then multiply. But let me show you here, okay? It's here. Just now, when I give 3, 3 can be converted into a number, right? Because 3, right? But if I use this thing, JJ cannot convert into a number. So what's gonna happen is when trying to do this, it will get this NN means not a number because it cannot do a multiplicity on that. But still, you get a type as a number. That's the weird part about JavaScript, okay? It can do lots of things weirdly, okay? Let me show you another one. this one doesn't do. Oh, this one doesn't do. There's another one which can do this one. Is this one? Let me see. Okay. First this one. Okay. When I have 4 here, it cannot do. Okay, it still get an n. Okay. I remember I have another one which can do. Probably is this operator. This method. You see. You see, pass int. This 4 is getting, because I have a space, the first one is 4, right? He will say, I will just convert 4 into a number. Then we'll do, okay. That's a weird part, okay. Not in the exam, just show you it has lots of weird things, okay. That is one. Logical operators. Here has a one thing which is different from Java, okay. Mostly is the same, but the thing is, JavaScript will do what thing? Automatically convert types. That's the thing which is interesting. Okay, I will give you guys a demo. We will show all the demos. Logic operators.js. I will have I just do console log. Okay. 5 greater than 7. Definitely, we're gonna see what? False, right? This is exactly the same as Java. Then we will do like this one. And when we do that, in Java, you cannot compare. But JavaScript will do automatic type convention. He will try to convert this one into a number in order to compare. The false. Okay. Let's do this one. We have to prove it actually can show you true. You guys know? And there's another one which is this one. Yeah, 5 are equal. In Java, probably we will consider they are different because the type of we have different type of for numbers, right? But JavaScript, they are the same because they only have one type, which is number. Okay, even though you do like this way, it will still consider they are the same because we will introduce a little bit later. Okay, this one JavaScript will try to convert this one into a number. And 5 is equal 5 to 0, so it's give it true. Okay. And this one. Now let me show you another one. In JavaScript, it has 3 equal sign and have 2 equal sign. And now I show you the result. The first one will get a true, right? Second one I get a false. The reason is for the 2 equal sign only compare values, okay? But for 3 equal sign, compare values and types. Here, the value is same, but the type is different. One is number, one is string. That's why we get a false. Got it, one? Okay. This one got it. Okay. I do have another one. Let me show you another one if we can see. Okay. What for? The separator here. Okay. If I remember correctly, is this one. Okay, take a look here. This is another one. I'm trying to compare 5 with ABC, okay, which is string, right? Previously, when we try to compare 5 with 7, 7 can convert into a number, right? So we see the result. But now I'm trying to compare 5 with something which cannot convert into a number. So no matter you use a greater sign, equal sign, or I think the smaller sign, all of them are going to be false. Because we are trying to compare this 5, actually this one will become, what's the value? NaN. It's the same as this one. It's the same as this one. So JavaScript, we are trying to convert ABC into NN. So no matter which number you are trying to compare with NN, it will always give you false. That's another kind of like tricky one. Okay. Do you get me? So see, suppose I use a -1. Always false. Okay. When you have a number compare with a NN, it will always false. Okay. What's the?
What does N?
NN stand for not a number. It means because ABC, when we compare with numbers, right? But ABC cannot convert into number. So NN stand for not a number. Okay. That's a very good question. Okay, we will see later. Okay, JavaScript, you can use single quote, you can use double quotes. We will see. We will have slides. Okay. We recommend always use a strict equality. Strict equality means 3 equal signs. Okay, 3 equal signs. Type and values. Comments same as Java. Single line and multiple line. Okay. Do you want me to show you? Oh no, no need, right? Okay. Here is another interesting about the JavaScript called the Boolean type. In Java, the Boolean type only have a true and a false, right? JavaScript, no. JavaScript has a falsy and a truthsy. Okay. So any type in JavaScript can be a Boolean. Any value can be used as a Boolean. What you need to remember is always remember all the falsy values. All others are truthsy. Okay. Just remember all the falsy one because falsy one are limited. All others, you see, you put it in the if-else condition are all true. Okay. So what are the falsy values? False, 0, 0.0, NN, empty string, none, undefined. All of them are false. Anything else are true. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. Boolean type. That's the people like JavaScript and not like JavaScript. Okay. What's the thing? If I will do like this way, okay. If empty string what's the thing else? False. False. And NaN and undefined and what's the thing? And what's the thing? No. Truthsy or falsy? True. Oh, I will see one. Okay. You will never get inside. You see here. This one talking about if any of them. Oh no. I just do like this way. Just do like this way. If empty string is true, I should get this one, right? Otherwise, I should get this one, right? Okay, like 1. If this one is true, I should get this one. Otherwise, I get 2, right? Okay. Node Boolean. I get 2. That means this one is false, right? That one is false. And 0, false. Okay. Let's see. Okay, false, true. Okay, let's true. See here, 0, false, and NN. False. Okay, and we do have a false. Okay, you do have a false. Okay, and others none. None is same as JavaScript now. Okay, false. And with JavaScript, we'll talk about undefined later. Undefined, false. Okay, and what are others? I think I demoed all of them. Okay, so those are the false. Anything else are true. Let me show you what's the true part. Okay. True. Okay, and you do can have a true here. Okay. Oh, 1. True. Okay. Let's have an object. X1. true. And if you want to get, let's give an array, like a 1 and 2. True. So just remember all the false values, okay? Anything else are true. Understand? Okay. So you can also use this thing. It's the same as Java. Suppose this one is 5. This one is a little bit interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, let x equals 5. This one will get a value. What's the value here? 5, right? You'll get a false because 5 considered true, not true gonna be false. Okay, you'll get a false. You guys know? You can use here. Okay, you can use here because this part is true and not true gonna be false. Gonna see this one. You got me? Okay, that's how to do. And you can add as many as you want. Okay, 1 and 2, 2, 2, 2. Anyway, any question? Boolean type. If not, we take a look at string type. Okay. Kali. Okay. In JavaScript, define strings. You can use single quote. You can use double quotes. Okay. But most of the time, when you see JavaScript developers, they probably will use a single quote by default. Okay, you can still, it doesn't matter. It's my personal habit. Now I change it because I'm Java background. Originally, when I started learning JavaScript, I use double quotes, and slowly I use single quote. I don't know why, but just slowly I turn into a single quote. Unless we have some cases, I will use double quotes. So now let me show you. Oh, I will show you the last one. Okay, last one. This is another one, which is very powerful, called the template literal. And which is very powerful. String type dot JS. Okay. No string. My bad. Okay. Like hello. Okay. Fine. Let str2 equals hi. Also fine. Okay. And here is a powerful when JavaScript is supported too. Like in Java, suppose I have, I want to say, I want to do something like this way. John say, yeah, my bad. Okay. Dun, dun. Because in the string, I want to have a quotes. In JavaScript, in Java, we have to do something like this, right? You got me? Mm-hmm. Which part I'm wrong? Probably here. Yes, is it here? No. How would you did in Java? Like this, right? Like this, okay. What's the like this, right? In Java, if you want to do JavaScript, you can do like this. Okay. John say hi. You got me? And if you want to have a single quote in a string, then you can use double quotes. Say, do you get me? Suppose in the string itself, you need to have a single quote, you just use double quotes outside. And if you need a double quotes in the string, just use a single quote outside. You said then you don't need to do the string concatenation. Understand what I'm saying? I just said this one didn't do it. Okay.
Yeah, you are trying to have the double quote for the height.
This one I'm talking about. I want to have a single quote.
Yeah, yes.
We have to. Yeah, we have to do something like this. Backslash. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Mix. Do something like this. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Then you can do here like this. Okay, thank you. Understand? Single quote, double quote, use as you want. Okay. Last one called temporary literal. That's the one we use in Java. In Java, suppose I want to have the string is very long, like A, B, C. Did you see this code in JavaScript in Java before? Like this. Then, right? We have to do. Sometimes it's too long. Probably we move to several lines, right? And it also same as JavaScript with the quotes or single quote, double quotes. But JavaScript added another powerful syntax, which is called the temporary literal, and which is used very often, called the backtick, which is the tab, the keypad, which is below the ESC. Below the ESC, okay, or the in front of the app of the tab, okay, the one. This one is the here, okay, below the ESC, that the one, okay. And then when you do that, you can have multiple lines. Like you can have multiple lines, no problems. You don't need to string concatenation, okay. This is one powerful of this one, okay. There's another powerful of this one. Suppose, have you ever used system.out.printer format, which you can inject some values into the string, right? Here it can do the same thing. Suppose, which is here I have variable, which is a course name. And this course name is bring by the user, okay? You grab from database CS472. And now I want to have another string welcome message, and which is like this way. Suppose without a string, you are do like this way. Welcome to plus course name, right? You are do like this way, right? And with backtick, you can do like this way. Backtick, okay. Welcome to, and use a $sign, dun, dun. And here you can refer to any variable and the course name. And here, well, let's see, console log, okay. Console.log, welcome, and welcome to. You have welcome, that's it. This is called, what's the thing? Temporary literal, and you can refer to the variables. And it's used quite often. There are last very powerful temporary literal. If you're interested, you can take a look at, which is use a temporary literal. You can execute a function. And this is used in React to, because React, when we do a style, right? We want to refer some values from the JS code, and they use a temporary literal to achieve that, called the styled component. There's a library called that. If you're interested, you can take a look at, okay? Or when we go to React, when you see that, we can refer this part, okay? But basic general use of temporary literal mostly is for this one. Okay. Any more questions? Doesn't matter, depends what you need. Okay, suppose if for a simple string, I always use single quotes, okay? And if I want to have multiple lines or refer to the variables, I use temporary literal. And for the string, the double quotes is like this kind of occasions, I will use double quotes, okay? Generally, we don't use, I don't use double quotes that often. I use single quote or use a temporary literal more often. That is this one. String also have lots of methods you can use, which are built in, like a char add. You know what to do, right? Get the index of that character, okay? And the index of last index replace. Do you want me to show you those? It's the same as Java's. Okay, same as Java's. Okay, you are good at Java, so let's skip this methods. Okay, the one probably char add substring you practice a lot, right? Java, same as Java. Okay, and Here has one thing which is different from Java. In Java, the length is a method in Java. Suppose I want to get the length of a string. It's a method in Java. In JavaScript, it's a property. So what I'm going to do is, suppose I want to get the length. Welcome dot length. In Java, it's a method, so you have to have a method call. And JavaScript is a property, so we just refer to that property. Okay, welcome dot length. It will give you length. That's another difference between Java. And concatenation is same as the Javas. Okay, concatenation I will show you guys. Let's finish the last one, which is a non and undefined. Then we'll take a break. Okay. In Java, we have none, right? And the famous exception, non-point exception, okay? Which means you have an object, but you don't assign any values. You have a variable, you don't assign any values, or the same as JavaScript. And which is like this way, non and undefined. You define a variable, I, j, okay, you give a none. And none is in JavaScript, none think what's thing. You have a variable j and none is a value for the j, okay? And there's a difference between none and undefined. In JavaScript, when you define a variable and you don't assign any value, right? By default, JavaScript will give you a value called undefined. So undefined means what? Undefined means you have a variable, but you never assign the value. And in JavaScript, none means what? You define value, you define a variable, and you assign the value none to it. You got me? Okay, so that's the difference. Basically, undefined is whenever you define a variable, but you never give initialization of that variable. JavaScript by default will give you undefined, and you will see undefined lots of later. Okay, more often later. That is this one, okay. This one gonna be none, and this one value. This one gonna be undefined. Undefined means the variable has been declared, but no value is being assigned. Okay. This one you can ignore because we're gonna talk about tomorrow or Monday. Okay, this part. And none, it means the value existed, and we especially assign a value of none. Okay, and you probably will get a reference error when you try to evaluate a variable that has not been declared. Reference error different from undefined. This one talking about what? Okay. So far, when I console log I and j, we don't have any error, right? And what is reference error? We are gonna get a reference error. See here, reference error. Username is not defined because did I define any variable called username? No, and that is this one talking about reference error. When you try to evaluate a variable that has not been defined, you're gonna have reference error because you are trying to access a variable you never defined. You got me? So reference error is different from undefined because undefined means what? Undefined, the variable already there. You just didn't define any didn't give any value. Oh, here let me show you. Okay, you will see another error. Okay. See here. This one we get it as a reference error, right? But take a look at this operation I did. When you see here, cannot read the property of undefined. This is called a typo error because I'm trying to read the length on undefined. So it's not a reference error, it's just a typo error. This one is a typo error. This one is a reference error. The reason we have typo error because we are trying to access the length undefined, the same as on none. You got me? This is a reference error is because I'm trying to access a variable I never defined anywhere. Okay, that's this line talking about. Okay, undefined means declared but no value assigned. Yeah, Kali. you will also see an error, but I'm not sure it's gonna be non-point or something. That's a good one. Let's see. Okay. Still type error cannot read the properties of none. Okay. There's no non-point exception inside the JavaScript, but you will see similar errors like this one. Okay. Okay, if you guys no question, let's take a 10 minutes break.
Like in Java, compiler
No,
doesn't have a
yes, because JavaScript is a scripting language. Java might have compiler error because you have to compile into .class files. So they have compiler errors. But JavaScript, it only have runtime error. That's why when you write JavaScript, you only find the errors when you execute it. Because it directly run through the source code. It directly run from.
Actually, when it is getting executed, doesn't have some sort of a compilation.
If you are talking about how JavaScript engine executed the code, it do have in the JavaScript engine, but from the developer side, you don't see it. It only give you the error when you execute it. JavaScript, the engine V8 do have a compile time, okay, because it is trying to make your code run faster. And you will do some halt method detect, and will try to refactor your code. But that's the whole thing behind it. As a developer, you only need to run it and see the errors.
So gives you an error. It only gives you the first error and then it stops running. Then show you all the errors.
Yes. The first error comes, then the program, because it's like a Java. When you see the first exception, you didn't catch the program exit. It doesn't continue. That's why here, when we have first one, the program doesn't continue. Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention to him. Yes.
And the 3 and 4, we need to with this, right?
If you want to do, you do it. If you don't want, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends
Just,
on
the link.
yeah, the link to check the validate the HTML CSS. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want it, fine with me. Okay.